Hello everybody, welcome back to Project Subnatural developer livestream. I apologize yesterday for the unexpected abrupt ending to the stream. Unfortunately my computer wasn't really handling streaming and screen sharing at the same time too well. So we are back, and hopefully that problem does not happen again. And we don't have Aiden right now. I had reminders set for him, but he has not answered them yet. So if he enters during the stream, then very well. However, he is not here at this moment, so I am expecting him to not be here. We may be having a special guest coming on Saturday, this Saturday at 7 o'clock for another scheduled live stream. And it's going to be our lead brainstormer, and he'll be joining us Saturday. So let's get started. I think today what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the control room, so that way we have a place to put some of these panels, and then we'll place these displays around the facility that we have right now. This is kind of our little layout. We didn't show this the other day, but that's what it looks like. And this is where the control room is going to go. So excuse me. Let me just go ahead and move this out of the way. So I think what I'm going to have to do I'm going to have to make a separate light, because I'm planning on making a small staircase going up a little bit. And then it's going to come around the corner, and then we're going to have a center staircase going down, and two other staircases on the left and right, and through the middle, through the mission control center that we're going to have. Let's see how this goes. I have literally no idea how I'm going to do this. I am honestly just winging it at this point. So we'll just see how that unfolds. First, I'm going to make the lamp part, so allow me to get there first. I imagine everything can be heard correctly. Okay. I'm gonna negate this, make this into a union. Bring this down a bit. Going to interesting. No. Okay. we go. Yes, I understand that this probably looks like a bowl. It is not a bowl, I promise. That's not right. Maybe even like a 1 and a 1. There we go. Due to performance reasons, I'm not going to put this lamp on a rope because I don't want a bunch of things on the physics engine while the game's running. Just in case that one comes up later. I have to bring this scale up a bit. Once again, we're going to make these two things here boxes, and we're going to make them non-collidable. And the reason I make these non-collidable is because if we take them off of the physics engine and the collision generation will not it will reduce the lag on the on our game. I'm trying to decide here how I want this thing to look. I think it looks good. Okay. Now we add the light bulb. This. How did I label these other things? Exactly. Alright, I think I know how to work with that. Oh, that's actually really cool. If you look into the light, it actually glows. That's a really cool effect. I like that. See? Kudos to Roblox's lighting engine, see? Was not expecting that to actually do that. Here's what I do want to do, though. I want to make this a, imagine that's the lamp itself. Oh, sorry, we're not even looking at that. Make it look a little older. Oh, that's an interesting effect too. It's a little too much. I just want it to be the range of the rooms. That's about it. A hanging light. Okay. So what is the rule here? Okay, so you're 20. You're 1. Okay. I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to anchor this. I'm going to make sure this... Give me this guy. Very good. Gotta make sure the steps are safety approved, of course. What color is this floor? There's a lot of unknowns here. Okay. I'm on the bridge between this black and that black. Here's what I like better, though. I like the idea of safety steps. So we're going to do this. I'm going to hold on to that. And so I'm going to union this just so I can reuse it and, you know, stack them and then scale them if I want to. Still trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. Hang on a second. Okay, good enough. I'm even going to use this as a scale block for now. Let's see what the distance is of this room. So at least to the wall. Let me just throw this guy over here. Move you over a little bit. Perfect. Look at that. What changes your... Very good. Alright, so I'm going to put you in the middle. I'm very tempted to try a very special, unique design, but I don't know how I want to do that. I'm thinking we go with, no, hold on, 20. We'll put this lamp right here. I think I'm just going to make a stairway for now. So in this case, we need 24, 6. Okay, we're getting close. 27.4. 27.3. 27.3 it is. I'm going to do a couple more here. Oh man, sub-leveling is going to be something else. One second. I think I'm just going to set match these and call it a day. Excuse me. I think I know how I want to do it now. Though I'm also very tempted to make this so that it kind of has an angle to the wall design. I haven't gotten that far yet. Subject to change. I don't know how I feel about that. I like it, but I don't like it. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do here. I think Aiden might be joining me soon. I love how all these games look very confusing from the outside. But on the inside, they just all make sense. Anyway. I don't know if I want to put that there. I'm going to put a regular light. I know what I'm doing here. All right, there we go. Whew! Bless me. This is going to be one of these interesting hallways. Grab one of these guys. Excuse me. I'll get to this wall in a second. I just need to figure out where I'm putting the other ones. I want to do something different with this one. Perfect. Now this is one of the few things that we're gonna make a precise convex, so that we're not creating any unnecessary collision issues with this this frame here. Might as well just play some music while we're at it. What? What is happening? Okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, just had to fix some issues with the wall. I wanted it to be centered in this case. Huh. Well, that's interesting. That's why I look so old, huh? There we go. Now we look a little more modern. It looks a lot different now. Oh, yeah. Looks weird. Whoa. Alright. That'll do it. My God, man. I feel like this is fairly successful looking control room. Wow, this is a big control room. At least there's no excuse to not have something. This will be good. Here are little metal pieces we're going to use to build the railings and stuff. Build these on the sides because I think I'm just going to have a control panel right here. Okay. I kind of like the idea of having this as our just kind of get the design down here. Then I walk away with these things. I build this. go. And there's our upgraded little fence. Or the fence, I mean, excuse me. Our little gate guard thing. Yeah. So now I'm gonna put this right here. Oh, still on the 0.5 increment. Let's get off of that. Now, the only issue with this gate is... Oh. So I have to undo it every time I have to move it, but it will look good in the end, and I'm happy about that. So okay. Just making sure there's no modeling discrepancies. And then put it back. Go for the other side. Oh no. Did a wrong thing. Okay. Okay. One more thing here, and then we're done with this little part. I wanted to do this part in one piece. Figured for design reasons it would look better. Oh. Perfect. So take a second. to see how this looks. No, I don't want it to collide right there. I was trying to avoid that. Well, at least it's better than nothing.
How long have you been sitting here?
For a little while, and I'm streaming right now, Mr. Fire. How's it going? Can you hear me? Hello? Carson?
I just thought you weren't here. I didn't know I could not hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Interesting. Carson can't hear me.
I cannot hear you.
Huh. Let me fix that real quick. Hopefully it'll work.
Discord.
Hello? Oh, hold on. Can you hear me?
No, I can't.
Oh my god, what happened? I'm streaming, by the way. We're doing a little behind the scenes of our game that we're making.
You are not streaming all of that.
I am.
Hmm. In that case, I'm unable to see it.
Everyone on YouTube can.
Oh,
So, yeah. Yeah, if you want to see what I'm looking at, I can't stream and screen share at the same time, so you're going to have to watch from the live stream what I'm doing. Because the last time that happened, broke during the live stream, and then we almost lost the footage. That was not fun.
uh,
So, yeah. But I'm basically building the control room. Fire, your favorite game, the strict roleplay, is coming back in a different game, as you know.
yeah.
I want you to give me your input when you see the live stream. Let me know, because I'm gonna turn off the
It
HUD.
looks very colorful so far.
Yeah, so all this stuff is I turned on all the collision science basically, so it tells me where all the colliders are. Because when I'm working on it, what'll happen is, see how it looks like this right here. All these little colors are the different collisions. Let's say I change the collision here to default. It'll look something crazy, and the collisions are like kind of outwards, and I don't like that. So I was trying to keep a tabs on what it looks like in the render. But now that I'm done with that part, I'm gonna go and transform back to regular mode so you can see what we got.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Oh, so just a reminder. Everything I see is like 10 to 20 seconds behind.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, everything's off a like a latency and stuff. So.
And this is the control room, you said?
Yeah, the control room.
Looks so fun.
I mean, you know your facility stuff, so I mean, if I were to show you this, would you imagine it as a control room?
Yeah, it looks sort of like a big observation or like hearing area.
Well, obviously all the screens are gonna go up here, and
Yeah, like I assume it's from like the screens and stuff go down there, but not like a control room.
we've already designed the screens too, by the way. So
Nice.
take a look at this. Look a lot different from
Give
the
me like
last
10
time.
seconds.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So from they changed since the last time you saw them.
Yes, I have. I see them now.
There is. I'm gonna wait 10 seconds. This is awkward.
Yeah, this seems so.
So the facility status display, basically, if I am to go into here,
I can't wait to see what is in 10 to 20 seconds.
you can. There's going to be a broadcast system where copies only 3 messages and then it deletes the oldest and puts the newest one in. So it's got like a broadcast history, and players will be able to put their announcements down here. Pretty cool.
So kind of like SCP roleplay has it.
Yeah, getting some inspiration from SCP Roleplay and then SCP Site Roleplay for putting the actual alarm and threat level displays on the screens. But it's a combination of the two. And our big alarm panel, the big dreadful facility lockdown. Nobody else has heard this yet. Let me turn off the soundtrack that we had on. And this is actually going to be the first time the public hears these sounds, but I would love to show you what the lockdown alarm sounds like confirmed. Are you ready?
I turned on the audio, so I'll be able to hear it now.
Okay. Alright, so let me turn this sound quality on. And this is what facility lockdown will sound like.
I'm having a hard time figuring out which voice is the one I'm hearing first.
I mean, who do you think of that alarm?
Okay, that's an interesting audio. It sounds familiar.
Yep. We do have a nuke that's going to be in the game. However, it's going to be more of an Easter egg, more like a developer activated thing. I don't want players to activate it just yet. Because there's no real completion or anything to do with it yet. It's not really planned either on our Trello. But we don't have 05. We have all fictional teams, by the way. So all like MTF, security department, everything redone and basically reimagined with different job descriptions.
So you're saying you have every MTF task force, or is it just like a standard MTF?
Right. So like you see how like over here. Okay, well then never mind. I gotta wait.
Give me like 10 seconds and I'll be able to tell you.
So these things here, I might as well
A
just
little
watch the
bit
stream
more.
so I can see
Okay,
where
I
you're
see
at.
him now.
I need to watch the stream so I can know where you're at. Let me. Okay. Let me just turn that audio off. So the one on the left is security department, right?
Okay.
But it's actually the official title is called the Security and Containment Department. The second one is the anomaly response team. They're not SCPs in our game. They're referred to as anomalies. They are referred to that as in both games, but ours more specifically are never going to be referenced as SCPs at all. But the anomaly response team, same thing as like the MTF. They're responsible for recontaining them. You remember how in the MTF there was a division called the Beta?
Yeah.
It's actually its own team in our game called Hazard Mitigation Department. And they're basically responsible for like cleaning up hazardous wastes and recontaining hazardous SCPs and stuff like to the
So
touch.
kind of like the Maz Hatters, right?
What's that?
So kind of like the Maz Hatters.
I don't know what that is, but sure.
At least I'm pretty sure it's the Maz Hatters. Double check. I made like a few like custom-ish MTF logos for our friends, so I kind of learned about a few along the way. Let's see. Yeah, the Maz Hatters. Maz Hatters, not my best work out of the few, but you know.
Then we have this black uniform, which is the you know what IA is, or what IA is supposed to be technically. Is
I
like
believe so.
like basically just like intelligence officers. They basically bring information to the higher ups, and they're not really responsible for like the actual detention of people, as most SCP games and Roblox do with that. Threat assessment and analysis is the team name. And basically, they are responsible for assessing the threats. So it's kind of like IA, but it's like a more professional term. And basically, they can report information through the radio. And our idea of this is, if you can report it through the radio, like there'll be a system where you can physically like click a button on the thing to report like a breach or something. That will give them XP on the team. The last one. You know what RRT is, obviously, from all of our other games.
Rapid response team.
Yep. So this darker blue uniform is basically that, and it's called the Special Operations Division. And they basically are the more elite version of the combative teams. So solely just for containing major threats. Not containing, but like, you know what I mean. Like controlling major threat.
Yeah.
The rig is almost done for the one coming up. I'm gonna wait till it moves. So this thing is the Integrity Enforcement Bureau. And
Okay.
oh boy, these guys fun. I'm gonna kind of do like a round around them on the backpack, which when the camera gets to that, that's where another one of those neons are gonna go. And the Integrity Enforcement Bureau is responsible. They have the ISD's job from SCP Roleplay. They're basically like the police and investigators of the facility, and these guys are the guys that enforced the overall professionalism and the conduct of the personnel that work within it. So, in other words, if they're corrupt, they're going to be detained or arrested by the Integrity Enforcement Bureau. And if you are arrested as a personnel, you'll actually be automatically team suspended for, I think, for a short amount of time, and you'll be forced onto the test subject team.
Yeah.
And you can only be arrested if you're corrupt in the game. So corrupt marks you only if you've like done something in the game where the game's code has, or like the game programming has detected that you've done something. You'll become corrupt.
They're kind of like a black
you.
site data when you go rogue.
Yes. So yeah. So like, and then that allows you to be arrested instead of just detained. You can be detained at any time. However, with that comes with some moderation stuff, which will come later. That's a story for another day. The next three rigs coming up are the higher ranks of the facility. The first one, notably, that you might remember is 05, the highest one in SCP. I inherited that intimidating red color. That's going to be coming up in a second. If it'll... Come on. Anytime now. Okay.
You had like 10 seconds.
So
there you go.
So the red shoulder pad is with inspiration from Site. We have facility operations is 05, basically. It's renamed and reimagined. Facility operations are going to be the guys with top level X cards. And I'll show you what those key cards look like in a second. That's also going to be the first time the public sees those. Then you have the site management, which is the green. Site management is basically... what is that? What's that one called? SID, I think. Site director. Yeah. You know, yeah, so like site director, SID, the same thing. Site management, just below facility operations. So you want to know something cool about our game?
What?
Everybody will be able to unlock every single team, including facility operations.
Nice.
So, except, you know, facility operations is going to require like an OP amount of experience points. Because I want it to take forever, and at least it will motivate people to, you know, want to get the products, because we're going to have products for all the teams. Nonetheless, if you instantly unlock it, you also get some extra perks with that too, for having a like a purchased version of it.
I feel like we should get more like perks if they don't purchase it, showing that they did have to go through that memory grind.
I mean, I feel like they should get different perks, is my thing, because...
Yeah, like different perks, not the same, but perks nonetheless.
But, yeah, say you bought it, you got, like, different perks that the, or not all the perks that a person who worked for it would get, but the person who worked for it would get much different perks than the person who bought it. So it would be cool, because it's a dichotomy. Because then if someone gets to that role and they also want to purchase it, which I don't know why they would do it anyway, because you have most of everything you have anyway. Because you'll still get like the detain tool and all that stuff that you can to drag people around the site. Stuff like... We can't really say right now, but we have some ideas planned for those two different things. So like the purchase and the actual experience unlock for this team are going to have two different expressive, basically, what is the word I'm looking for? They're going to have like two different prizes out of it, so I don't know, I'm brain farting, I can't think of the words right now. Perks, sorry, I couldn't think of it, but yeah, so they get two different like level perks and all that stuff. Are you ready to, we'll quickly go down the row here. If you'll look on the right side, you'll see what they're called. Some of these rigs aren't done yet. When we come...
Research department.
Yep.
Medical, maintenance, test subject, graded, normal test subject.
And then the as you know, the Chaos Insurgency's also changed.
Yeah, the Crimson Syndicate.
So we have a fictional enemy private organization, so the Crimson Syndicate. Backstory for everyone who doesn't know what they are, because they're not going to yet. The Crimson Syndicate, unlike the Chaos Insurgency, which is another government organization, as far as I understand, like another country, I believe. The Crimson Syndicate, this facility is a private organization rather than a government facility. So the Crimson Syndicate is actually a criminal organization rather than an anti-government.
If I'm correct, the SCP Foundation technically isn't a government entity. It's just governments allow them to happen.
Well, it's government funded, which makes them government. The reason for that is because when it's government funded, once you start getting the funds from the government, that makes you a government facility. And not only on top of that, they have their own government-funded combative organizations within the facility, which basically means that they're government agencies. So corruption's tackled within the government, and then they get, whatever happens from there is just like death sentence. But, yes, so it is technically private, so to speak, but it is government funded, like you said, which makes it a government facility, oddly enough. With this one, it is not government funded, because we'll get into the story. You guys will have to figure that one out once we,
How would they be funded if it's not via government?
What's that?
How would they be funded if it's not by the government?
You'll find out. I can't say. There's a storyline that we're putting in the game, and I can't say.
Come on.
See, that's why we have good writers, and I put you on a cliffhanger, and you want to hear more, but I can't tell you more. It's an NDA, so I have to.
The funny part would be if you don't have an answer yet.
What's that?
The funny part would be if you don't have an answer yet.
Like an answer to like who's funding.
What they're being funded by, or how they're funding themselves.
Well, even if there is an answer, I couldn't tell you. And if there's not an answer, then there's not an answer. But I can't say who that will be. You'll just have to find out.
It'd be hilarious if they were just like selling drugs or something, and that's how they got the money. But hey, it's up to the writers.
Hey, I mean, yeah, the writers could make a plot twist out of it. You never know.
No, we're secretly criminal.
You never know. Hey, I did say the
And
Crimson
it's
Syndicate
the
was
Crimson Syndicate is just their biggest rival
the biggest rival. We'll have
in
to
drug
see.
setting.
Well, we'll get there. Anyway, so what I was working on was the alarms to get them to work shortly after I finished that control panel, because we were working on the alarms last night, and you know, just before my computer died almost on the stream. So what I did was I made a custom little alarm. The bulb and everything was made by me. It was made on stream if you want to go look, and if you don't believe me. I am trying to make it so that it is a localized system, so that that way it doesn't lag the server when the alarms are going off, because I'm going to make them have animations. If that makes sense.
How are you going to animate spherical objects?
What's that?
How are you going to animate a spherical object if it's not purely just light?
I'm going to show you why. Do you see this? Oh, I gotta.
Give me like 10 seconds.
Okay, well I'll just start working on it now, and I'll show you what I mean.
Yeah.
Basically, what's gonna happen is it's just gonna fade on, and no, it's not gonna. It's gonna shoot on, and then it's gonna fade out, shoot on, fade out. Basically, if you know what I mean. So like, you see how it was back at
it's like a fading effect, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be a flasher effect. So when it activates, it's gonna go to this like instantly, and then it's gonna fade back to the glass, and it's gonna do over and over. Yeah. So that's where we're at currently.
Yeah.
But we just need to make it so that it actually does the thing. Well, I know how to make it do the thing. I just need to make it happen locally, because I don't want it to run on the server, because there's going to be probably near, what, like 70, 80, 90 alarm lights in the building, and I don't want them all working on the server. I want them to work from the client, because most clients can run these games anyway, so.
Yeah, when everything is server dependent, the game tends to just start lagging itself.
Well, yeah, everything just starts lagging, and then on top of that, the network starts to decline, and then once the network declines, all of our gunshots and stuff are delayed, and it's just going to be a pain in the neck. So I'm trying to make a lot of things happen from the local side, so it's an extra amount of scripting, but it's going to be worth it. So much worth it in the end.
Most big games have everything locally.
Yeah, so
At least everything that costs a lot locally.
So SCP Roleplay has a lot of localized functions in their game. Meta made it so that it is purely like the game values similarly to what I'm doing. I'm kind of following his model a little bit when it comes to actually functioning the game. The game values themselves are server-sided, so like on, off, 0, 1, all that stuff. So if I scroll down to server config, the alarm itself and the threat level will be displayed in the actual server, but all of the functions that associate with these values will be played from the local side. So when something changes locally, it will detect that and be like, oh, crap, hey, something changed, I have to do this for the player. And that will happen to every player. The other thing is right when the player joins, it will also get that value as well. So that way, as you join, those values are still being inherited to your local, because it's not going to be like that
I
when you join.
recommend delaying that value input because sometimes if the player doesn't load in fast enough from when their character is created, it'll just break it all together.
Not quite. So I think what you're thinking of is a little different. When you load in, there's a basically the process of loading things is called a replication, right? When your client is replicating the objects of the game, it basically, there's a function called await, and they have what's called a wait for child. Basically, that's what it's going to be doing from the local script, and it's going to wait until that object is loaded into the game before continuing the script. If that makes sense. So
I know way too many games that don't worry about that.
Yeah, so a lot. So the funny thing is, right? So I've obviously, I've didn't know coding for crap back when we did strict roleplay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what I have now is I have quite a lot of experience when it comes to it now. And from what I have gathered and understood over the time that I've been learning Lua and all that stuff, there's a lot of different things that go into making a game, replication being the biggest one. That's one of the biggest things that error a lot of games, and people can't figure it out. Oh my god, I give up. And that's why there's a lot of turnout from developers on Roblox, because they don't understand how to code. But I feel like if people just understood the major concepts of game development, they'd be able to successfully make and to create great games. But I just don't think they have that knowledge and the know-how to do these things, which they need to work on, unfortunately. So I'm going to show you the key card. In 100 years.
Yeah, most people, when they start trying to code, they try to get basic help of what coding actually means, but then they don't go further in with, like, what does this actually do compared to what, blah, blah, blah. Like, you get the point of just, yeah.
Right. So, here's our key card, our access level card. You may notice immediately the stripes down at the bottom, because they stand out, probably,
Yeah.
right? Well, let me tell you something. That's the point. Because I'm going to show you that depending on your level, there is different colored stripes and an amount of stripes that's added to the card as you rank up your access levels. So there's a rank 0, and then there's a rank 1, etc., right? And then the X levels. So there's an A level and there's an X level. The level you just saw, the X level, is the highest level key card in the game, minus the admin card, obviously, because we need to have that as well. But
Yeah.
X key cards have red stripes, and the A key cards, the alpha stripes, are gold, and the alpha stripes are below X. So A's are basically for all. That's a good way to remember that. And then X is for basically for corporate, or for like the holy justice of the facility. X. It's an intimidating letter of the alphabet. So those will help people easily identify the access level if they ever need to be ID'd for any reason, because IDing will be a feature in our game. As you may have noticed, there's a username, team name, and rank. Your rank associated with that team above will be displayed as the rank. The team name will be the team that you're on, and it will also change color depending on what team you're on. And then the username, your username, which is your actual username, not your display name. Because I'm not going to do that. We might have roleplay names. That might be one of the things coming up. Probably shouldn't have said anything about that because it's not a planned thing in there yet. But that's one of the features that are being discussed, whether or not we allow players to have roleplay names. Because the way we can do that is obviously the ranks are already in there. And it would display as if you have a custom name in our game. It will say your rank captain, for example, if you're on a combative team, like captain something something as a fictional name, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're aiming to do with that if we go that route. And then that little image on the side, you could probably tell what that is. It's just the it's the player's thumbnail. And yeah, the text above, access level X1 will, and the X1 will change depending on what it is. And then you know how in Sight they have the feature where you click on the card and it tells you if they're above you or below you or equal to your level.
I've never tried to do it, so no.
So there's a feature that, depending on your rank and your level in the game, like the level determines a 0.5 value, and the rank determines a 1 value. So if you go up a rank, you gain 1 authority level. And if you go up a key card level in the game, like an access level in their game, 1 through 5, that level will determine a 0.5 value. So say there's a sergeant on the security department and there's a lieutenant on the security department. Those are 2 different ranks. Security being directly below lieutenant, and they're the same level. That will make them equal to your rank. Sorry, excuse me.
Theoretically, a level 1 with the highest security rank could outrank a level 5 or, the highest level, but like a lowest security rank.
That is correct. Because the access level is just a determinant factor of their experience in the entire facility and their trust in the facility. But it does slightly impact their authority over you. So that rank being significantly lower than yours makes them lower than you just in general. So it wouldn't make sense for a
specific team give you specific point values as well.
Like specific teams have, like on the ranks, have different values per rank.
Yeah, like let's say someone's on like the facility director team or whatnot, but they're like the lowest level or lowest rank, and another person that's like the highest level or highest rank, they'd outclass the facility director or whatnot.
Well, let me just get one thing straight. The facility operations is, if I'm referring correctly to what you're talking about, the red team, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, no matter what else, facility operations is always above no matter what team it is.
Okay, so there'd be like a preset level where it's above.
So basically, their levels are going to be deemed as a 1,000 per level. So 1,000 authority per level basically is the facility operations.
Okay.
And then it's still the half values for the level of keycard, but X1, it's not really going to matter because X1 counts as 8 levels, which is oddly enough. So X2 and X3, by the way, are technically lower levels than X1, but it's the other way around for A's. 1 through 5 is the highest, 5 being the highest. It's going to be confusing at first, but we're going to explain this a little more as we get into it.
Yeah.
But basically, let me open up the script real quick. I'm just going to make a quick little thing. I'm going to show everyone exactly what it is that I'm referring to. We're going to put it in replicated. No. We're
And then what about facility director? Like that team. The Green Boys.
Oh, you mean site management.
Yeah, site management. How would they be ranked?
So they'll be going up by like 200s.
Okay.
But
So yeah,
just because
each team gets
yeah, so they all get different authority levels per rank. Basically, security being like 1. These guys will probably be 1. We have to level out all of the different things. But as of right now, this is from lowest to highest in terms of the teams. IEB is going to be really high up because they have to be. But, like, say this is 1 per, this is 2 per, 5 per, 10 per, and 20 per, right?
Yeah.
These administrative teams, these 3, this one has not been, this might just be an admin team that we add later. But this right here, so just, we're not even going to focus on this guy. Just, this guy can go away. So, these 2. No matter what other department is below them, these 2 are the only exceptions to the law, basically. And if they have an authority level higher than them in technicality, they still don't have authority because they're on this team.
Okay.
Even if so I'm going to make it so that card says, regardless if their authority levels are higher, it will even say that on the card. But it's going to say, due to them being on this team, they are still a higher rank than you.
Got it.
Integrity enforcement, same thing. It's not technically an administrative team, but it is an administrative team. So anything below the integrity enforcement is above. This guy's above all of these guys in the facility. However, combatives and facility civil teams are free game. So, say this guy, he makes one authority level per rank. So let's say he's trainee, junior, engineer, and
I have to go real quick.
oh, okay. Are you coming back?
I'll be back later.
Okay.
Yeah. See ya.
I'll see it. So just to kind of sum it up for everyone else who's going to be watching this later, to help aid in the understanding and to explain better what I'm talking about, is basically every time you rank up, you get an authority level. It's basically like a number value that will go up over time. And basically, it's only relevant to that team. It does not actually accumulate as you rank up, and it's not like a permanent value. It's a value only associated with that team. So basically, this guy levels up once every time he ranks up. Every authority level. The authority level goes up by an increment of 1. That level, say, for example, we go through the ranks of the engineer. I'll quickly just brief that. So, say we have novice technician, apprentice technician, site technician. Those are the first 3 ranks of the maintenance department. So, the 3rd rank, site technician, for example, say that's increment number 3, because that's 3 times you ranked up. 3 times 3 is 3. Or excuse me, 3 times 1 is 3. So, say the security department, or this guy, is rank 1, but technically he's a higher association than the other teams because he goes up by an increment of 2 authority levels every time he ranks up. When he or she gets to their, like, the 0th level or the first level being 2, so that the 0 level technically is 1. Say we go to the anomaly response team. The 0 integer being recruit, first being operative. Operative would give you 2 authority levels. And then the 3rd level specialist, or 2nd level specialist. Specialist will give you another 2. So now you're at 4 authority levels. Now, technically, under the 2nd rank, operative is still technically under the rank of the third ranking for maintenance department, because now they still have 3 authority levels rather than 2. So I hope that makes a little more sense. In other words, to better explain this isn't really going to be listed on the game. Just use your key cards, because your key cards will tell you everything. That'll all be determined in the logic of the game. It'll do it all for you. So just ID each other, and you can figure it out amongst each other. But yes, these teams are always above all those other teams, minus the enemy teams, which is the test subjects and the Crimson Syndicate. They have no authority over them because they have no association with the facility. But yeah, so that's basically sums it up in terms of the explanation of ranks and authority in the game, and the direction we're going to be going with that. And we've been live for about 2 hours, so I think that right about does it for this stream. And I hope that really lays out a bunch of different things for you guys for understanding when we come closer to release. And I'm very glad we got done with this control room today. I'm going to be decorating it up a little bit with some extra control panels that I'll build off stream. And we'll set up the panels and everything, and we'll also program those panels behind the scenes, you know, to protect our code, of course. And then that'll be it. We'll continue to do some more dev streams after that happens, and we'll keep you guys updated on where we're at. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.